Oh man, where do I even begin? Between the close to, if not more than rated R scenes, the subliminal real-world analogies, and the fire, fast-paced graphics and cutthroat action-based near 3D animation, Chainsaw Man has, in my opinion, the makings of a top 10 anime. The character developments, settings, and plot all pull from generic niches of most manga and anime, while still being unique and standing alone with its own taste of sweet originality. If you haven't watched it yet, after this video, you may have no other choice but to do so. Hello again. Thank you for watching Zen Forum. I'm your host, Zen. Join me as we explore Denji the Devil Hunter, a rather carefree and quirky guy that finds himself in an even more interesting line of work. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as watch to the end, because trust me, you're going to love this video. Due to the fact that the anime is extremely new, there will definitely be some spoilers in here, so although I will keep it to a bare minimum, this is your fair warning. But without further ado, let's get into it, guys. The first important thing to note about Denji is he is bereft of a last name. This is due to the fact that he has lived alone as an orphan for basically his whole life, and the viewer can assume he had a last name but probably forgot it a long time ago. His father died and left behind with him a bunch of debt that he owed to the Yakuza. It is at this point in the show we are introduced to Denji, a dirt poor, nigh homeless 16-year-old with only a small devil for his sole companion. In this world, devils are commonplace. Their origins aren't explicitly explained, only that they grow stronger as the masses fear and believe more in them. I'm not too sure whether they are brought into existence from an external force or if this fear alone is what gives birth to them. There can be a devil for anything, you name it. A coffee devil, a tomato devil, a bad devil, I guess anything you can think of. I believe we'll get a better power scaling as the show matures, because as of right now, all we know is that overall fear of a devil gives it more power, but it's hard to tell which devils are stronger than the other. They've sort of given Denji this OP plot armor, but we'll get to that later in the video. The Yakuza that Denji was working for to pay off his debts makes a pact with the zombie devil, and long story short, they're turned into zombies. Too bad, so sad. Denji tries to defeat the devil, but is fatally injured in the process. As he lay there in a dumpster, taking in his last breaths, he reflects on what a useless life he's lived. His only wish is that Pochita, his pet devil, take his body and live a life worth living. Pochita is an interesting devil indeed. Loving his owner so much, he agrees to be his heart in the literal sense, so that Denji can keep on living. The only stipulation is that Denji shows Pochita this exciting life that he always dreams and speaks of. With that, Pochita disappears and is assimilated into Denji, and Chainsaw Man is born. Many devils seem to fear Denji in this new form, and basically the fight for Denji's heart, which is technically Pochita, turns into the overarching storyline mission. This is probably some foreshadowing into Pochita's past and what type of devil he truly was before he became all cute and cuddly. The purpose of this video is less about plot and more about the exciting character development displayed in the show. If we're being completely honest with ourselves, Denji is an incel, and a rather pathetic one at that. You can't truly blame him, because the guy is only 16 and doesn't know any better. Hell, he hasn't even had any formal education as far as we're concerned in the show. Coupled with his easygoing simple guy attitude, it's easy to see why he is the way he is. Prior to his job at public safety, his life consisted of eating scraps, dumpster diving for resources, and doing off-the-books devil hunting to pay off his debts, pay his measly rent, and provide food for him and Pochita. He pedestalizes women and everything about them. Everyone who joins public safety joins with a chip on their shoulder, having one grand dream or another. The biggest of Denji's dreams consists of things like touching boobs for the first time, getting his first kiss, and losing his virginity. He actually gets distracted and loses frame rather easily whenever any sexual tension is placed upon him. He even crushes on Makima-san, who is probably the first woman he's been actually able to meet. His level of sexual inexperience has him eating out of Makima's hands literally on several different occasions. And speaking of Makima, this segues us perfectly into the dynamics of this show, which to me seem to be highlighting a bunch of more concepts that may have flown over some of our heads. It's interesting to note that women are in high positions of power throughout the show. This example is shown with Makima seemingly being the head of the Tokyo Division of Public Safety. And while Aki Hayakawa is the head of all of Division 4, he refers to One-Eyed Himeno as senpai, meaning she has superiority to him. Now I know what you're thinking, Zen. But Zen, that isn't weird at all. Women exist in positions of power all the time. Yes, I agree. However, it's interesting to see such a progressive anime which strays from the norm of men being the highest up in a socio-economic structure and emulate the real world and corporate life more accurately, with women dominating the workforce in many instances. Let's also address the level of female worship and impery, if you guys know what I mean, throughout the manga and anime. Denji has a maddening crush on Makima, and so does Hayakawa, Denji's superior, whom he also lives with, not to mention Makima presides over both of them. That's a love triangle that is doomed to fail. Makima exploits the men that love her by asking them to risk their lives, complete tasks, and do good work for her. She even refers to Denji as a dog or puppy at certain moments. The pinnacle of these examples are when she promises, or at least heavily implies, sex for Denji if he can kill a high-ranking demon. She also tasks Hayakawa with things he doesn't really want to do, with the assurance that she comes to him because she trusts him the most. There's also another instance where during a whole devil battle, Denji and his fellow rookie co-worker, Arai Hirozaku, argue over who gets to kiss Himeno. Himeno has promised a kiss to whoever could slay the devil first. This style is concurrent with Makima's style of poor leadership. Even Power, the Fiend, uses Denji's weakness for women against him. A promise is made to fondle her breasts as a way to get him to do her bidding. It later turned out to be a trap, which is even worse when you think about the implications of these dynamics. There's one more topic I want to tangent into real fast. That's the love triangle between Himeno, Hayakawa, and Makima. Because everyone loves Makima, this leaves Himeno, who is a beautiful woman in her own right, feeling somewhat spurned. I won't spoil the show, but just know that you need to watch it, because there's a few real-world instances that are symbolic of the sexual consent and statutory rape issues that we face today in modern society. These scenes really have the viewer on the edge of their seats. I believe the mangaka Tatsuki Fujimoto was trying to shine light on the age of consent in Japan, which is shockingly only 13 years old. Amongst other things, Fujimoto is only 30 years old. Being a millennial, he would be extremely sensitive to the issues we have going on. Maybe a reason why this anime hits so hard for the young viewers at home all over the world. All that being said, this anime isn't just famed for its good storytelling. Oh no. Best believe the animations and action are on par with the actual story. For someone who didn't really like Denji's design in the chainsaw form, I have to say it grows on you during the show. The artists are not shy about the blood and gore either, and that's exciting as well. The graphics can be virtually 3D at some moments, with a deep saturation and an understanding of colorways, making for some very realistic fight scenes and some rather serene yet simplistic shows of beauty in the strangest, most unexpected parts of the show. I also appreciated how each episode had a different ending theme, so there's more than enough soundtracks to fall in love with over a brief yet content-packed season. The ultimate attribute to this anime is pace. They have completely mastered it. By the last 3 episodes, not only are you wanting more and more, but you also feel as if you're in a whole different season. I started to feel that existential dread one gets when you know it's approaching the end of a show and you're really enjoying it and wondering what show you'll be filling the void with. An anime cognizant of this feeling for me was JoJo Bizarre Adventures. Not to mention, the show leaves off on a cliffhanger every episode, with the biggest cliffhanger occurring at the 9th episode. I won't spoil it, but just know it left me with so many questions. In its totality, Chainsaw Man's character and plot is a lot like the mangaka himself, daring and risky. He's not afraid to touch on controversial topics, and he's not afraid to be different and go against the grain. Some of the scenes and topics are rather dark and vulgar. This is definitely a show I would recommend for viewers 18+, maybe even 21+. Fujimoto's style is much like Denji, who approaches life with a reckless abandon. It's even stated that the best devil hunters have a few screws loose, and trust me, Denji has them all loose, implying that he'll be the best of the best. The main component to a devil's power is fear, and Denji has none, rendering most of his opponents powerless against him. I truly hope we get to see this show come to its full fruition. I'll definitely be paying close attention and keeping an eye out for the next season, and you would be smart to do the same. Thank you for tuning in to the video, people. I truly appreciate those of you who watched till the end. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and a subscription, and be sure to check out my video breakdown I did on Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan and Understanding Morality. But other than that, thank you for watching Zen Form. Find your Zen, your final form. I will see you next time, guys.